Top 10 designers, winter designers of 2023.
Here's some codes to save you some cash on your next Middle Eastern niche or designer fragrances.
What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. 2023 is going out with a bang, and we've had a couple of great designer fragrances, and this is going to be the 2023 must-have designer fragrance list, at least during the winter time, which is really good for me personally. I love the sweet, sexy, seductive type of fragrances, and if you do as well, then you're rocking with the right one. The number one fragrance that I'm gonna recommend is gonna be Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir. The best one in my opinion, and if you like the whole sweet, seductive, sexy vibes, if you are a part of the whole La Nuit de l'Homme family, or if you're about that life, then you're gonna be about this life too, okay? Because that's what life I'm about. I love the sweet, sexy, seductive type of fragrances, and that's exactly what this is. It takes a couple of different aspects from the original, the Jean Paul Gaultier, not Ultra Male, the original one, and it infuses it with some Middle Eastern influence, a little bit of spices, but mostly honey, golden honey. I'm from a place where honey is like the blood that runs through my veins, Yemen, and we cultivate and have natural honeys, all kinds of different honeys. And that's one of the reasons why I genuinely love this one a lot. So think of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male, grown up and sexier. A lot of people really enjoy Ultra Male and obviously the Le Male de Parfum, and this is supposed to be the most oriental of them all until this came out. It's really sexier in my opinion. It's just got more of a bite, and it makes this one much more of a turn on to me and women. Another one out of these fragrances, I'm not gonna list this one as like a must-have, but for me personally, it's just gonna be an honorable mention, and it's sitting here. I wanna talk about it. Even though this is a 10 list, it's gonna end up being 11 because I wanna talk about this one. If you like that sexy, seductive, sweet fragrance, but you also appreciate oud fragrances, this is 1 million Al Oud Al Dhahabi. It's not gonna be for everybody, man. People don't like the whole abrasive oud, a little bit funky. You're not gonna like this, but me, it works for me, man. I grew up wearing oud fragrances, and this is the best designer oud, at least to come in from like the whole Paco Rabanne DNA and more designer fragrances. I really like this one. I genuinely enjoyed wearing this fragrance, and I was complimented while wearing this one as well. So this really goes back to signature scent profiles and scent profiles working on different people. So if you share the same or similar vibes or tastes of fragrances, then you're likely to like this one as well. A very testy fragrance, and for that reason, it's gonna be an honorable mention and less of a must-have. Another must-have fragrance, in my opinion, is going to be the best one of Boss Bottled. It's the best one in terms of scent profile. It's the best one in terms of what you're getting for what you pay, and along with the total performance and longevity of Boss Bottled Elixir. It's all about the elixirs, and that's exactly what this one does. It takes the whole Boss Bottled vibe and it adds a bit more of the spice, licorice, oriental vibes, Middle Eastern vibes. Really, that's what all of these go back to, their roots. Fragrance roots are rooted, or fragrances rather, are rooted in Middle East. That's where they all originated from, and now they infused it with oriental resins like some frankincense and some spices as well. The best one out of the entire line. You're gonna be noticed with this one, but it's extremely grown. It's not gonna be for the average 20-year-old either. Boss Bottled Elixir, I think, is a must-have in any collection, especially if you like strong, bold, definitive, masculine fragrances. Next fragrance is going to be for women. This is, in my opinion, one of the best women's fragrances I got my hands on this year, and it's from Narciso Rodriguez, and it's called Musc Noir Rose. This smells like a sophisticated lady that's really just an everyday type of scent profile. If you're one of those women that like to walk around in the mall with your purse and your little Maltese hanging out, this is the type of fragrance that I see you rocking. Sexy, elegant, and not really that sweet. It's just a daily fragrance that smells a little bit like cosmetics and rose. As simple as that. Very sophisticated and elegant. Narciso Rodriguez Musc Noir Rose. Another fragrance that I still deem necessary in 2023 during any winter time, actually, not just 2023. I think this one's gonna be relevant in many years to come. And it's not gonna be the newest flanker of this one, it's gonna be the original, and it's Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. This is still relevant, and in my opinion, it's still better than the newest one, the Parfum. I do have the Parfum in my collection, and while I think it's great, it's fantastic, it's just less wearable in my opinion. This one has a bit more of this sparkling pepper, and for that reason, the sillage on this one is better. The Parfum is everlasting. It doesn't go anywhere, but it has much more of a density, and it makes it a little bit harder to wear. So if you like syrupy vanilla with some spices, Middle Eastern, sexy, this is all about that. Perfect for the wintertime gourmand heaven. If you're looking to get eaten alive, in any wintertime, really. Yeah, this is a golden fragrance right here. So while there were a couple of fragrances that were released in 2023, not many of them are gonna make this list. And it's not because they're not good enough, but because it's not like the must-haves. So I'm finding myself having to go back to older releases that I still find relevant here in 2023. So rather than feeding you guys a couple of new fragrances and calling them must-haves, I find that it'll be a lot more valuable if I stay true to at least the honest must-have classification of the list and go back into some fragrances that are still pretty relevant. And for that reason, I'm gonna recommend this one. It's not one that I wear regularly anymore, but it's definitely a part of the whole must-have vibes. And it's Spicebomb Extreme. Gentlemen, if you don't have this already, just do yourself a favor. Add this to your arsenal. It's vanilla ice cream vibes with spices. This really is, like Michelle says, Sex Bomb Extreme. This has gotten me so much attention, and I've even signature scented this for a long time. I've worn this throughout many different seasons except for high summer heat, but even then, it wasn't a good idea during the high summer heat, but every other season, this is not bad. Lighten up the sprays, you can get away with it. Spice Bomb Extreme, absolutely still relevant in 2023. I don't think this one's gonna go anywhere ever, period. Another one that I still deem a must-have is gonna be Azzaro's Wanted by Night. This is sweet, spicy, and fruity at the same time. A lot of contrasting notes causes this one to give me a lot of strange attention. This has gotten me crazy attention, like you shouldn't have said that vibes. Yeah, that's what this is. That's exactly what this is. Sweet, spicy, sexy, seductive. A different fragrance. It really wasn't my cup of tea at first, but I really grown to appreciate this, and I will always have this in my collection. Azzaro's Wanted by Night, and if I'm not mistaken, there's rumors, or let me not even spread the rumors. It's a good one. Another fragrance that's still relevant in 2023 and I deem a must-have is gonna be a fragrance that's really not that popular, at least right now, but I really believe that if a lot of people get their nose on this one, or if you're a little bit elevated in the whole scent profile DNA and you don't really just like spicy or fresh, or you like a little bit of everything, you're gonna really like this one. And the good news is that this is pretty affordable at around $50 to $60 at most. This is coffee, tiramisu, ambroxan, peppers, with a little bit of freshness at the top. I've signature scented this one as well, and in 2023, during the wintertime, this is fantastic. They've got a couple of different flankers. They've got the black signature, the leather. This is the one that I always come back to. It's the original Salvatore Uomo. Super sexy, still relevant in 2023, and will always be relevant for me. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit lighter than some of these winter scent profiles, this is still a winter fragrance, but it's much sexier and much more than just that. You can rock this one into the spring and even during the fall. Another one that cuts through the cold weather, and this is going to be ambroxan, peppers, and incense. So if you like Dior Sauvage, but you like also Middle Eastern fragrances, something that's a little bit thicker, it does have a synthetic vibe, just like the whole Dior Sauvage DNA. It's very synthetic ambroxan. A lot of fragrances are synthetic to begin with, but if you like that synthetic ambroxan where it's loud, it's very strong, this is gonna be right up your alley. If you enjoy fragrances like Dior Sauvage and you want it done with a little bit more of a Middle Eastern twist, then Versace Dylan Blue is gonna be exactly that. 2023, this is still relevant in my opinion. On me, I've gotten so many compliments. Another fragrance that I've signature scented, and I would easily go back to any time of day, and I will continue pulling compliments. So if you don't wanna pick this up, then leave all the compliments for me. This is not gonna be for everybody, but if you enjoy incense, you want that whole Dior Sauvage DNA with a bit more of a bite, then you're gonna enjoy Versace Dylan Blue. Longevity and performance on this one is exactly why I find this one to still be relevant. It's been out for years and they haven't reformulated. It's a fantastic fragrance. Other brands, take notes, no reformulations. I wanted to suggest another women's fragrance, but as far as the designer realm, there aren't many designer women fragrances in my collection, at least, that I can recommend for the winter time. Even the one that I recommended, the Narciso Rodriguez, it's not necessarily that much of a winter fragrance, but if I had it, I would recommend Kayali's Yum Pistachio. The reason I don't have it during this video is because I had a small sample vial. I love that fragrance, and I did a little comparison with another fragrance, but that fragrance is gorgeous. It's edible cream and pistachio with fruits at the top, and I think that that's a delicious women's fragrance for the winter time. So if you're looking for something like that, either Kayali's Yum Pistachio is going to be amazing for the winter time. There is one that I do have in my collection, however, and it's more than just a wintertime fragrance. And actually, my sister stole the bottle because it's that good. It's florals, it's so sweet, it's sugar infused infested, man. Like, infested is probably not a good word to use. Infused, just drowned in sugars. And it's called Damaskina by Sphinx Fragrances. It's so sexy. It's a little bit of spring and wintertime in one bottle. So it's gonna be florals and sweetness. I could have suggested something like Horchata de Vanille. They have a couple of other gourmands, but in all honesty, Damaskina has to be my favorite one from the entire collection of Sphinx Fragrances. Cute bottles, very affordable fragrances. They are technically a niche brand, but they have designer prices. Damaskina is so sexy. The final recommendation for this designer list, must-have of 2023, is gonna be a throwback. This one goes back, and actually I was debating between two fragrances, and I'll just share my honest opinions and thoughts of my, debate between these two fragrances and why I'm going with one or the other. So technically we're gonna be talking about 12 fragrances, but it's a 10 list. So I was debating between Valentino Uomo and Emporio Armani Stronger With You. A great fragrance, hazelnut base, super sexy, sweet, and also pretty much the same thing. This one, however, there's a reason why I'm gonna put this one down and recommend this one. This is much easier to wear, a little less cloying, but both of them can be a bit cloying. That hazelnut vibe can be super sweet, and if you like super sweet fragrances, then you don't have to worry about any of that. This one, however, seems like it has a bit more of a honeyed vibe, whereas this one has a bit more of a mass appeal to it. It just smells more like fragrance rather than just syrupy sweet hazelnut. So both of these fragrances are excellent choices, but relevance as far as what's still good in 2023, if you're looking for something playful, slightly youthful, this is the one to go with. Honestly, I've even put this on my nephew who's like 15 years old, and I've rocked it up until like 25. This is a great fragrance. So even up until 30 years old during the wintertime, this will cut through the cold. I could have offered a couple of different suggestions like Stronger With You Intensely, Stronger With You Absolutely, which is the best one. However, there's a lot of discontinuations and a lot of should be illegal things that happen in the fragrance community, like discontinuations and reformulations. It should be illegal. But nevertheless, Stronger With You, the original, is still a great fragrance. If you like fragrances like Azzaro's Most Wanted and other things like that, then you're going to enjoy Stronger With You, the original as well. If you want a more grown-up version of this, then I would recommend probably going with something like this. So there you go, a couple of extra cheat codes for you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. This is 10 must-have designer winter fragrances that I would still recommend here in 2023. A couple of new ones, great additions to my collection, and a couple of ones that were still good fragrances, like Ralph Lauren's Club Elixir was a great fragrance, but it's not something that I would deem absolutely must have. With all things considered, all of these fragrances are going to be performers. None of these shy in terms of performance, and they're actually worth the money. I'll do my best to link a couple of the best prices for half of these products down in the description, so check that out for the best deals. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a comment, leave a like, hit that subscribe, you know the deal. And until the next video, peace. Let's try that again, my voice cracked. And until the next video, peace. There you go.